Dwayne and welcome back to the channel. This is the next video in my Overland build series where I'm working on my M416 trailer. And what we're going to be doing today is repairing the top rails of my tub because I want to put a lid on the trailer. And to do that, I want the lid to seal. And right now, these rails are pretty banged up and we're going to figure out the best way to straighten them out and get them flat. So these tub rails are not perfect, and they're certainly not the worst I've seen either, but when I build my lid, I want to put a seal on the underside of the lid so it can keep water out. And to seal any water out, we really need to get this top rail a lot flatter. You can see it has some dents right here, which won't work. And on the driver's side is not too bad. The front actually is not too bad. This is probably one of the worst dents I have right here. But let's say the passenger side, it took some serious blows here. Look at that. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's pretty crunched up right there. And then again, right here. And then on the back, yeah, you know how they use these trailers. Loading up, throwing who knows what, rocks, blocks into it. It's definitely banged it up pretty good. So the way I look at it, I really have two options. First one I thought of is getting some 90-degree angle iron and probably like 1 inch. I kind of measured it out and I could weld it on the top and the bottom, although that would be a lot of welding, right? I'm gonna have to go all the way around because I would want it to be sealed up. And I also have to buy the material, and this is a 4x6 trailer, so that's gonna be 20 feet of angle iron. That's doable, you can do it. And the other option would be get my welder out and try to fill in some of these worst ones with the welder and then go over it with the grinder and get them nice and smooth. I won't have to buy any material, and part of me wants to give that a try first. I mean, grinding welds is a tedious project. It's not a lot of fun, but in theory, I won't have any money out of my pocket and I can literally start and try it today. So that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna prep a couple of the small ones, these small dents, and we're gonna give that a try. So we gotta fire up the air compressor, prep a couple of these spots real quick, and lay down some welds and see how that process goes. And what, you know what, just like last week, this old air compressor I've been using for a while finally gave out. It won't start, you know, and the motor's not seized up, but I just, you know, it was given to me by a friend and I'm actually gonna give it back to him. But more importantly, it gave me the opportunity to buy some new equipment. So with that being said, I picked up this DeWalt 30-gallon, 2-horsepower air compressor. And, you know, I would love to have a big, you know, 60-gallon on 220, but I don't have a 220 line. And honestly, I am low on space in my garage, so I think this will do just fine. It was pretty reasonable price. Picked it up at Tractor Supply for a good deal, and, you know, I'm happy with it so far. It's been working great. So let's fire this thing up and prep some metal. Okay, I just want to try a couple spots. Most of it went okay. Seemed to want to burn through a little bit over here, but overall went just fine. I didn't do the whole back panel. I just wanted to start with a couple spots. I'm going to get the grinder out and we'll see how this grinds down and how it looks. You know, that didn't go too bad at all. You know, the couple little spots right here I want to fill in, I think, right around the edges. But, you know, overall, I think this is going to be the best option. So going to add a little more weld to a couple of these spots and then fill in this one and put a little weld right here where I have my clamp. And, yeah, we'll finish off this back edge. You know, one thing that really helps me be able to see my welds while I'm welding is, like you saw me there, hold my light just outside my helmet. My helmet is auto darkening, so I actually can see great with this light on if it's right in front of it. And as soon as I kick on the welder, you can see while you're welding as well, but it helps me find that exact spot before I start my welding. So I just needed to lay a couple more beads, I should say almost tacks, just to cover up a couple of low spots. But this will be my third time putting a little bit of weld down. This should be my last one on this back panel, and I'm really liking it so far. Let's get to a little more grinding. All right, so I've been working on this for probably about 2 hours now, and you know what? I'm pretty happy with the results. I'm going to show you how it looks. So the big dents and low spots are all gone. I took about 3 passes with the welder, had to come back, touch it up, grind, sand, touch it up. And then at the last, I just went over with my DA and a pad just to clean it up, smooth it out. And you know what? I think this is going to look great after it's all powder coated or painted. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do, but I'm pretty confident this will have no problem sealing now. You know, it's not perfectly straight by any means, but you know, all the big dips you at the gasket would never seal or gone now. So it's pretty flat. You know, that definitely has a little bit of motion to it, you know, but I think, you know, if this was a car, you're getting ready to paint it, you wouldn't leave it like this. But for the trailer, this rim top, I think this will work. You know, I don't really want to put any body filler on the top of this because you're constantly going to be putting stuff in and out of the trailer, and you have a good chance of just, you know, dinging it, chipping the body filler and having it come apart. So I think this is going to work just fine. So I think we're going to move now to the driver's side, which is pretty decent. Actually, there's not a whole lot going on here. A couple of little spots we'll mark out, and we're just going to keep going here. I like it. You can see all the grinding dust I have in the middle of the bed of the trailer. Yeah, that's what you get when you're grinding those welds down after a while. All right, so it's day 2 in the garage working on these rails, and let me show you where I left off yesterday. So the back is up pretty much all straight. I like it. And then I was working on the driver's side rail, the rear dent. That one came out real nice. I like it. And again, I'm not trying to get these, you know, show cars straight by any means. I just want the big dents out so I can get them to seal. I've got one little low spot here. I'm going to add a little weld to it. And then the front one, the front dent, that came out real nice. Let me get out of the light here. There you go. So this one, it came out great. And I just now took a look at the front rail, and I really have, the front rail's not bad. I have a little dent here, and I have a pretty good one right there, and then another pretty good one right there. And the rest of the rail is actually pretty flat and straight. So this one's got a dent, but it's right on the front edge. I'm not going to worry about that. I won't be sealing on that front edge. And so really, we're going to add some weld here, and then on the middle side piece. Then we're going to get these ground down and straightened out. All right, that looked pretty good. I think I'm getting better at laying less weld, which means less grinding. But I don't know. The better welder could definitely cut your grinding time down in half. But we're doing what we can. So start grinding now. All right, this is how it looks after 1 pass of welding and 1 pass of grinding. This one has a little low spot, and this one is a little low right through this edge. And here, it has a couple more little low spots. They all pretty much do. It's hard to hit a home run with just 1 pass of weld. It normally always takes 2, sometimes 3 hits with the welder just to try to get that dent smoothed out and nice and even. And one thing that I'm doing is you don't want to push down hard on that grinder at all. If you do, you're going to create low spots. I'm really just letting it float across the top, and it's going to remove the high spots. And when you can really see when it starts hitting the surrounding metal around it, kind of like just doing body work on a car if you ever have, that's when you want to stop. And every once in a while, you want to make sure you stop, let it cool off, but rub your finger across it, maybe with your leather glove, and you can even then find high and low spots of it. So you know whether or not you want to keep grinding or add a little weld, or call it good. You know, I've made some pretty good progress, but I have definitely saved the worst for last. The passenger side rail on the tub is rough. Check this one out. Yeah, major hits right there. Terrible. And then over here, holy smokes. Looks like some boulders or cinder blocks, you know, were dropped on that one. So I've got some major work to do. But the nice thing is, you know what? It's like mid-40s today in February in Michigan, and the door is open. So we got some nice vitamin D and some sun, so I'll take it. First we gotta do is, just like the other ones, get the paint stripped off and get to welding. Woo! That was a whole lot of grinding. That's only through round one. Alright, check it out. It's still pretty ugly. Yeah, this thing was bad. So it's rough. It's going to need, obviously, another round, probably 2 more rounds, just like everything else has. This was definitely probably the worst hit right here. I tried to get as much weld in there as I could, so I could probably just do as much grinding on the initial phase step, but this one looks pretty good. That one is a little low on the edges. This one, again, looks good, a little low. And this one's not bad. Got some low spots as well. And this one just needs a light touch up, and it'll be good. But I've been at it for a while today, I gotta admit, that's for sure. Even with earplugs, my head just is tired of that grinding noise. Probably gonna lay down one more round of welding and probably call it done for today. But yeah, we're making progress. All I can say is, wow, that was a ton of work. At times I was really starting to regret my decision of welding and grinding method. But at the end of the day, I still think it was the best decision for this application. I didn't have to buy any material, and it was just a lot of labor. But, you know, I'm pretty happy with the results. Let's check out the rails. So again, this is the worst side, the driver's side, what we've been working on, and you know, it came out pretty darn good. Same as the rest, really have about 3 passes of weld and grinding on it, but it looks pretty good and I'm happy with it now. So time to move on to one more challenge on this tub rail, and that is the corners. Because if you're not familiar with these trailers, the corners, the sheet metal of the tub is actually wrapped and rolled over the tube at the top of the trailer. So that means there's a step in the transition, and there's no way, in my opinion, a gasket or a seal is going to work over that transition without a smooth transition. Does that make sense? So what I'm going to do is lay down a few passes of weld at that transition, at that step, so I can grind it and taper it off into the corner. So, and if you stuck around this long, you don't need to see that whole process anymore, because it's really the same 3 steps: prep, weld, grind, and then repeat. And we're going to jump right to the finished product. All right, so this is what it looks like. Lots of grinding, but again, got rid of that step, and now we'll be able to put a gasket on the underside of my lid, cut a nice 45 to it, and have that gasket blend. And I think we have a great spot to seal in the corners. Looks good, but man, lots of welding and grinding. Again, all the corners pretty much look the same. I'll probably do a very thin coat of like all metal just in the corner, or maybe in the worst spots. Again, I don't want to have like tons of body filler on the tub rail at all, because it'll just, in my opinion, get chipped and chewed up. But a skim coat just to help smoothen it out. And yeah, I think that's going to work well. But overall, it's all looking great. Super happy with it now. Again, here's the corners in the front. This one had a pretty healthy bang, and this one looks good as well. So happy with it. It's all set, and I'm calling it done. And look at all that grinding dust. Holy smokes. That just shows you the amount of labor and grinding and time that went into this project. But I'm happy with it. It's done. We're moving on to something more fun next time. You know when you go fishing, you catch that great big fish, you say you caught a whopper? Well, man, this was a whopper of a project as well. But I'm so glad this one is done. It wasn't a lot of fun, but sometimes they aren't fun. You just gotta get into it, elbows deep, strap up your boots, get in and get it done. That's what I feel like I did with this one. And you know, if you haven't bought a trailer yet, do your due diligence and really look it over carefully. You know, I didn't have any trailer options in my state when I bought this one. I looked for quite a while, and I actually went to Ohio to buy it. So I feel like I bought what was available to get this project started. And with that being said, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in, subscribing, following along with this build. It means a lot to me. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And there's also that bell notification you can turn on so you get notified each and every time I upload a new video. I'm Wayne. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.